Welcome to another episode of the Stateside Reds. Manchester United 1, Real Sociedad 1. Toothless Manchester United, absolute toothless for me. There's only a few people on that pitch once again that can hold their head high. Trying to get the words out. For me, I think 𝙈𝙍𝙀 was man of the match. I'm not understanding. There's a lot of things online saying he was shit. I'm not quite sure what game they were watching. For me, the standout performance was him and 𝗈𝙊𝙍𝙀 again. I think there was a couple of players that had a couple of. No, I think 𝗈𝗊𝙍𝙀 had a good game. To make a change. And then there was a couple of other people on the pitch that had a pretty decent game. What do you think, Mikey?
Very boring performance. Very just boring and just standard United.
Yeah.
Nothing really. Everybody was pretty, bad in their own ways in little spurts. So I think 𝗈𝗊𝙍𝙀 had a decent game. He had not too much to ask of him. He made a decent save and he tried to progress the ball a little faster. I guess people got in his head.
Yeah.
Good there. We got robbed by the VAR decision. I feel like once Garnacho went off, our speed up front was gone, and we just got really flat. Garnacho wasn't great today, but I don't think he was like the worst thing on earth, right? I think the decision-making is still an issue, but he also put one in to give us the assist that gave us the only goal of the game, which a good pass to 𝙈𝙍𝙀. And 𝙈𝙍𝙀, like the goalkeeper, fluffed that one. The goal, that's an 𝗈𝗊𝙍𝙀 special. That goalkeeper should be ashamed of himself. He was in the middle and he kind of was off to the left, and the shot took him another way, and it was going through so many bodies he couldn't track it.
Yeah, I think he got flat-footed him. He tried to go one way, kind of flat-footed him. It also goes towards how the pitch was tonight. The pitch was atrocious. I don't know what was going on in Spain. Was there a monsoon that we didn't know about? Because I don't think I've ever seen a pitch that wet in my entire life. Down on our end, if 𝗈𝙍𝙀 doesn't get his foot up in the air, that's a goal for Sociedad slipping over.
Yeah, everybody was slipping today. It was actually pretty brutal what was going on. But all in all, I'd say I'm actually kind of impressed with these guys going away to a Spanish side. Everybody is fearing the Spanish side. We do well away against Spanish sides. We've lost one game against Spanish away. So we've done well away. I didn't say it at home. So, all in all, cool. We survived the tie. 1-1. So 0-0 going back to Old Trafford. That's where we're gonna struggle, apparently, is going back home, because we don't do well at home. We're not doing well in the moment. But I don't think it's anybody that could just, say, hey, I had a great solid game today. I don't understand what handball is anymore.
No, it's some people out there are saying it's handball. For me, it's one of the worst decisions I've seen. And again, against Real Sociedad, remember a couple of years ago when Martinez came running out and he had his arm out like that. So who was that against? Real Sociedad. Another penalty. 2 dodgy penalties against Real Sociedad. I agree with you. I don't understand what handball is anymore. I would understand a little bit more if he was further away. But when you're that close,
you
can't control it, and you can't ask these players to jump like this because you can't jump. Like there's not a basketball player, not a high jumper in the world can jump with his arms by his side.
You can't jump. You can't jump high straight up. You gotta have to. It's a running jump, and it's never gonna. If you don't have time, what are you gonna do? I don't understand what it is.
No.
I don't understand that call at all.
No,
but
it is what it is. For me, I think we kind of switched off after that, and then a little bit more when Garnacho went off. Not that for me he was doing anything worthwhile, but the speed and the kind of running at the player was kind of their defense was kind of helping him a little bit. Again, I agree with you. His decision making for me is absolutely poor, and for me, he's not progressing anymore at Manchester United. I don't see him I'm actually seeing him go down. He hasn't scored since November. Rasmus Højlund today, and 19 games now in a row, not scoring a goal. I saw it earlier. What is going on with these players? Mainu I can understand because he's been out injured quite a bit this season, so he's not really had that time to gain the form.
Yeah.
But that picture of all three of them sitting on the billboard, what happened to that? What happened to those players? None of
Yeah.
them can score.
I mean, for me, it's a plethora of a lot of things, right? It's a new system they're playing in.
Mhm.
I don't know what Rasmus' problem is. I'll just go ahead and say that I don't know what his issue is. I almost think that I'm almost leaning to start to think that last season was maybe a one-off.
Yeah.
And we probably saw the peak of his powers there, right? Now I don't want to write him off yet, but I'm getting to this point where I'm like, okay, because he was just nowhere to be found today, right?
Okay.
Like I feel like he had spots where he was effective, but there was also times where like the ball just bounces off the man. It just bounces off him. He can't commit anything to touch. He can't. It's hard for him to pass the ball sometimes. There's so many times that he killed our forward play because the ball doesn't stick onto him, or he indecisively will pass it back. And Ronaldo was saying he feels like guys don't trust him. I almost want to agree with that. I don't know. That'd be speculation on my part, but I almost agree with that. Ahmad is injured. Kobe Manu, second season slump, injured a lot, like you said. I can go from there. Garnacho, I feel like there was a part of the time where Amram came in and he was being a little bit better with his decisions.
Yeah.
But now he's reverted back to the Garnacho of old, where he's like not putting the ball in, and also, him scoring as much as he did, we kind of used to it now. So it's like not he's not. It's like what the fuck. But I don't know. I think this whole team is broken, right?
Mhm.
The level of competition that's on the pitch, the system is a little bit wonky for some of these guys. They're starting to learn it. They're starting to go off and get either they're going to figure it out or not. And I think there's a couple guys that's figuring it out. I think Dorgu has it figured out. Dorgu knows what to do. Euro knows what to do.
I mean,
Um, Delict could give you something. He's not consistent enough for me to feel
I
like.
think I think he's been our best defender by a stretch.
Delict.
Yeah, Delict. Yeah.
Yeah, Delict 100%. I don't know why I keep messing that up with Dallo. Yes, Delict he's up there in defense for sure. Him and Big H have been good for us this season. Delict's figured it out. Ugarte hasn't figured out. And Bruno, but then there's other guys that's like we're kind of dragging them along. They're passengers in these games a lot of times.
Yeah.
And if all you got to do is to beat Man United is put a press on, and make it longer than 7 seconds.
Dude, did
We
you see
can't
that
play our way
Anana
through it.
thing 2 seconds into the game?
No, I didn't see.
So the ball went to him, and his back was kind of turned, and he kind of did a spin move around their striker who was pressing him, and at any point he could have slipped. Nearly gave the ball away. I was like, "What are you doing?" It was 2 seconds into the game. I was like, "Wow." Yeah, I think Zerski's growing into the game at Man United. Growing into his role in the 10. I think now that Amram's figured out you're not a 9. We're not going to play you in the 9 unless we need you to. You're playing in the 10. I think every game he's been getting better and better. Still some decision making that he could get, but again, this is, he hasn't even been here for 10 months, so we've got to give him time. But every game I'm seeing him getting better and better. His control of the ball, his ability to pick out a pass. I remember the one at the weekend where he dinked it straight over to Garnacho. Unfortunately, Garnacho kind of got off-footed. Everyone was blaming him. Oh, he should have scored that. Like, if you've played the game, you can't let the ball bounce in front of you as you're taking the step and then kick with the same foot. You know what I mean? You just can't do that. So I understood why he missed that. Yeah, I think some of the players are progressing. I think some of these players are, starting to understand the system. But it's very few and far between who are and who is letting the team down.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. And I think Amram knows now who's going to stay. I would be absolute shocked if Garnacho stays beyond the summer. Absolute shock.
Yeah, I mean, I want money for him.
Yeah.
I would love money for him, but the thing is with Man United is that I want to see the replacement be better, and that's a lot of because what's going to happen is he's going to go someplace. He's going to go Syria, He's gonna probably go to Napoli. He's gonna do well there because he has pace and like it's a slower game there or whatever the case may be, level of competition. Some people will say whatever. He'll do well there, and then we'll get somebody that we hyping up. Can't wait. Everybody will make these comps. People will say, "Oh well, I've seen him play. I did some research, and I think he's gonna be great." And then he'll be average. He'll be average. He'll probably be worse than Garnacho, or
Mhm.
like not be as effective as Garnacho probably. And then we'll be back to square one. So the point, if we're gonna look at Garnacho and say, hey, you can't do anything for this team anymore, the backup has to be good. And that's where the scouting comes in. And we've stripped a lot of the essentials from our scouting department, just as the hires up have done. So this team is broken. It's a multi department fracture at this club, and it starts from the top down.
Yeah. Dan's saying good thing. I think Osman would be a good swap. I don't. I'm wondering whether Hoyland's a 9 and not a 10, a 10 and not a 9. Like, but then again, he can't hold the ball up. Like, there was one particular point today where the ball came to him, right, and it's just him and the defender. If he gets past the defender, he's open.
Yep.
What does he do? He wrestles with the defender and he ends up with his back to goal. All he had to do was stand there, put his body and let the ball roll right past him, and he could run onto it. But no, controls it, gets his back to goal. The defender gets it away from him. I'm like, what are you doing? It's simple mistakes that this team continuously makes. Dan said, if we can't sell him, we loan him.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, loaning him out. But something needs to happen. I honestly think that Amram, you're talking about the scouts there. For me, I think Amram knows the players that he wants in. I think between him and Jason Wilcox, and I call him Vivek. I can't pronounce his name. I think they already have a set list of 10 to 20 players and I'm not saying we're going to get all of those. I'm just saying you've got to have backup. I think they have a list of 10 to 20 players who they're going to go after this summer.
I hope so, because we just heard in the news that there's been massive firing in the scouting department. So it's like,
yeah,
what are we doing? What are we doing at this point? Our scouting's already been bad. What are we doing? Are we?
Well, that's the thing.
Like this, or okay, are we going to fortify this, or are we going to what are we doing? Because it's already been bad. So, like I said, I don't have any hope. I just want to see. I don't want to see. I don't want to affirm anything. I don't want to make it. I just want to see it, because that's what's been happening as of late. The backup, Onana, not as good at not better than De Gea, not better. Who else we brought in? Just not better. Casemiro, not better than Casemiro. Has not been better than Fred for us.
I think his first season at Man United was, but overall, I don't think he has.
It just not work. I mean, Fred used to run his socks off. Also, he was younger, but he used to run his socks off. We can't even get that from Casemiro now.
Yeah,
I love Casemiro. I love Casemiro. I was happy to have him here, but it's like the football's past him now.
Yeah, so I think we sold a. When we said Fred was like 28, and we brought a 28-year-old in return instead of going younger. It was kind of weird.
Was he 28 when we brought him in?
Fred was, I think he was 28, 29 when he left Man United. Yeah, he was getting up there. That's why we took the money and ran. He wasn't young. And then we go sign,
yes. So did we really run away with it if we gave it right back to a guy that was 30 years old?
Well, yeah. It was, but again, that's pretty Ineos. I think the business that they've done since Ineos has been here has been pretty decent. Obviously Maz has dropped off a little bit. But he's not a wing back, so I'm not expecting too much out of him. I think he'll play decently at the right or left centre back when needed next season. You got the FA Cup games. Injuries are always going to happen at Man United. So,
damn. So that's where we're going to play him now, because he's not that either.
No, I think he played. Yeah, but but what Amram likes from his two wide centre backs is for them to move out a little bit when moving up. I think and I think he plays better, and that kind of puts into where he is. But he plays out the wide position, so he's a lot more comfortable moving out. So for me, it's just Maz will end up being a backup next season. I don't see him or a backup wing back.
Well, what is he on? How much money do we pay for him?
I think he's only on like 80 grand a week. We didn't sign many of them on a lot high. Yeah,
that's not too bad to be
a backup.
Be a backup.
Yeah. So yeah, just for me, there was a lot of disappointment in today. Low again. Just it reaffirms that we need a right wing back.
Yeah, he's not a wing back. That's the thing. He shines in a back four, where he can. His job description is simple, right? Block crosses, get forward, defend that man on that side, give overlap, like when you can. This being asked to do, come back, stay wide, do that. It's just not for him, and he's already not like a great defender. That's the thing, like. He's not a great defender, so you're asked to do a lot in this. I just think this. Apparently, Amram loves him, so we're gonna see a lot more of Ďalo. But I just don't think it's for him. Maybe he's just having a slump season because he does very well for Portugal.
He does, yeah.
Portugal they have good players. So.
Yeah, they also play with a back four too. So, like you said, that's what he's used to. For me, I'm a little more worried on the fact that I don't think he really fits the system. He's not a wing back, and he's not going to play one of the back three for me. Especially next year, because I think we're going to get at least one centre back in next year. We have to replace the two that are leaving. We have to get a centre back to come in.
We need, especially when Martinez out. He's going to be out for a while.
Yeah. So yeah. Maybe we keep him and he plays on one of the back three. The only thing I can really think of for how we are. I did watch an interesting video, and I kind of want to touch on it yesterday online on YouTube. For me, a great YouTuber about Man United, and he went over how Amram, in his first season at Sporting, do you know how many players he let go?
No.
Pop quiz. In his first summer?
Nope.
25.
You can't do that in the Premier League.
No, I'm not saying you. I wasn't trying to say we can get rid of him at 25. But that ruthlessness to come in, and he got rid of his top 3 stars, one of them had only just been signed the season before, got rid of them all, and spent, I think it was like 14 million on like 8 new players, including loan. Kind of, do you know what I mean? It kind of, for me, it's shining a very little light over here, going, oh look, that resembles a Man United right now. Can't afford it. But one of the things for me is, why can't we loan out 2 or 3 players this summer? We'll take in 2 or 3 loans this summer. We can only get 4 players. Why can't we go get 3 loans? And it was kind of, he made it work with those. He made it work over at Sporting. Again, Sporting isn't the Premier League, but you've got to put in comparisons that they hadn't won the league in 30 years, and he won them the league. So I'm not saying we're going to win the league next year, but it gives you that start, that bumper to get 5, 6 new players in that fit his system to maybe finish 6th, maybe finish 5th, get into Europe at least next season, and then the next summer or in January you go get another 1 or 2, and then you start to build a team. You know what I mean? For me, I don't think we're going to be ready until not this summer, the next summer with him. I think he has to do well next year to keep his job. I don't think we're going to fight for a top 4 place until the season after.
Oh, so remember you said next season is top 5.
At 5. What did I just said there? I don't think we're going to get top 4. Top 5 should get the Champions League next year.
So we're going to only move up 2 spots because we're not going to win 3 spots at best because we're not going to win the league.
I think it all depends on if we can get the right players through.
So wait, we move up 10 spots from this season, and then the season after we move up 3 spots at best.
If we get a striker, yeah, you got to think this is like we haven't given up that many goals. It's just we can't score. The reason we're in our position isn't because our defense is horrible. It's we can't score.
Oh no, the defense is bad.
I don't think it's that bad. I think if you got a team that's scoring, I'm not saying it's great, right? I think a right wing back will solidify that back 3 for me. I think Lenny Oro, with Martinez when he comes back, and 𝙈𝙊𝙍, and then 𝙈𝙊𝙍𝙀 on the left, I think that's a shored up back back five. If we go out and get a decent midfielder to play above 𝙈𝙊𝙍𝙀 with legs, with pace that can help him get back, and then a striker that can score a goal, maybe an Osman, yeah, we can go up 10 places easy. There's no doubt in my mind we can go up 10 places. Because you've also got to look at the points difference between Man United. It's only like 12 points, 13 points.
Yeah, the league is bad right now. So that's what you're basing it off of. You're basing on how bad everybody is right now. They might not be bad next season.
It's for me, but that gap between 10th and 6th,
I hear you.
It's never really that big.
I hear you.
Because the Premier League is getting better. The smaller teams are getting better and better. Look at Villa a couple of years ago. You never thought they would be in the Champions League this year. So the teams are getting better. So for me, I just feel like I don't think this team, like, I look at it and it's boring right now and it's horrible. But you just got to give him some players that can play his system. And say Højlund, for instance, scores 22 goals this year. You think we'll win 15th?
He's never done that, though.
I know he hasn't. I'm just throwing out him because he's a striker.
I'm just saying, he's never done that, like, ever.
Okay,
so to even hypothesize that is crazy, because now you're hypothesizing things that's never happened.
I'm hypothesizing a striker scoring 20 goals.
Okay.
I'm just throwing his name out because he's a striker. Imagine if we had a striker that scored 20 goals this season.
Okay.
That's 5 more wins, right?
Yeah, sure.
4 or 5 more wins. Where are we?
Sure.
7th, 8th?
10th.
10th?
Where are we now? We're 5th. We're 14th.
We're 15th now.
What's the gap between here and 9th?
Looking it up right now. The Premier League. We're on 30. We're on 33 points. And 5th is on 46, so 13 points.
I don't know. This is all hypothetical.
No, but what I'm saying is next year, if we can get that striker that can get 20 goals and a right wing back that can get more crosses in, that can do what Dalot did not do today. Because for me, even as bad as Højlund has been, I think he scores that goal. I really do think he scores that goal. And one, not only does it score him a goal, but two, it builds his confidence for the next game.
Yeah.
It's just yes, we're 14th, but we're only 13 points behind Chelsea in 5th place. And five more wins this year from a 20-goal striker puts us there. That's how crazy this is. You know what I mean? But we just can't score. Man United team is toothless. We just can't score.
I think I will say, I mean, this all sounds good, right? And I'm, in a perfect world, but just our defending is bad. Our goalkeeper is bad. Our goalkeeper our goalkeeper lets it in at any time, and then like our defending can be shit at times. Sometimes all it takes is one pass over the top, and we beat our entire defense. Or like who was it? Was it Brentford? One of them. I think it was Crystal Palace with Mateta. Just pass it through the channels. It didn't matter. Our back three was just ineffective against it. I feel like maybe I'm being a pessimist, maybe whatever you want to call it. I think there's a lot more to be had than just like there's a lot more variables in it. The league is very bad this year, right? Like the drop off in the league is just guys that are at the top right now you would never thought, like it's whatever. Yeah. Man United and Spurs are in spaces they've never been before in their lives, right? And then you have Chelsea that Nottingham Forest that may be over punching above their weight right now. Whatever the case may be. I think next season, just like the season where we were third and everybody was terrible and we just so happened to nick third and Liverpool was what, 5th?
Yeah.
Liverpool has come back now just a couple seasons later and they're going to win the league.
Yeah.
I think it will revert. I think it will revert to, okay, now there's not going to be much parity. It's going to go back to what it is next season.
Yeah.
Once again, this is speculation. So we have to get better very fast. And I don't feel like banking it on this summer. I feel like you said, it's going to take maybe another year, but I don't see us in 5th. I see 7th best. 7th at best. And that's because we're gonna need so many players to go through what we're gonna be playing. To be playing all the games we're gonna be. Now we're not gonna be in Europe next season, so that's good. I'm glad for that. I mean, I hate that we're not getting the money, but I'm glad for it because we'll limit the amount of games we're gonna play. We're gonna be in 2 other competitions outside of the Premier League. So cool. I'm just not that optimistic about it, I guess.
Yeah. I got an interesting fact for you, right?
No.
So Man United have no, I'm going to go with another team. Nottingham Forest have conceded 33 goals. Man City have conceded 37. Chelsea have conceded 36. And then you're looking at Bournemouth with 39, who are in 8th, right? The 2 anomalies here is like you're looking at Arsenal and Liverpool. They both conceded 23 and 26 respectively.
Right.
Man United have conceded 39. So pretty much average with 3rd, 4th, and 5th, right?
Yeah.
The difference is, and I just said that if we can get a 20 goal striker, right? Nottingham Forest have scored 44 goals. Man City have scored 53. Chelsea have scored 52. We have scored 33. If we got out a 20 goal striker, right? That's 53 goals, the same as Man City, conceding only 2 more than Man City, who are in 4th place. Okay. So, like, I like to throw out facts like that because normally when I tell people, not you, but there's going to be people that are going to listen to this and say, man, it's crazy. Striker's not going to make a difference. It just proved it to you. 20 goals makes a huge difference. It makes a difference between 14th and 4th.
It's just very optimistic that we're gonna have a 20-goal striker.
No, I get you, buddy. Trust me. I'm a very optimistic man. I put a bet on 5th next
How many
year.
How many players in this Premier League have a 20 goals?
3.
Isak,
Haaland, and Mo Salah.
One of them isn't even a striker.
But yeah, I think Victor Osimhen could get 20 goals.
Who, Osimhen?
Osimhen, yeah. Victor Osimhen.
I can't say because he hasn't done it done it for us yet.
No, I agree with
you. He's done it everywhere else, and I think he's great. I love him. I think he's a great player, but it's a difference between the Syria and Turkey and here. And I feel like we should have went to. I mean, I guess we didn't have much say in it, but him going to Galatasaray, I would have loved him to just come here.
Yeah,
because it just wastes a year. But he's in the prime of his life and he's tearing it up there. So never know.
Oh yeah, and that's what I mean. That's why I said I think he could. There's always that. It could be a bust. He could come here and be a bust. That's why I said I think he could get it. But yeah, for me, that's where my mindset is we've got to get a striker that can score goals because this front line is toothless. I just don't see where the goals are
tired now.
Sorry.
And they're tired now.
Yeah.
They're asked to play a lot of games now.
Yeah, they're going to play Arsenal Sunday.
Yep.
At least we're going to have Cheeto back for that game.
I forgot about that game, and I'm going to be at the pub for that game, I'm sure, but that game is about to be wicked.
Yeah.
I don't know. They might put. I don't want to say. I don't think we're going to lose though. I don't think we're going to lose. I think there's a win for us in that game somewhere.
Yeah.
Because Arsenal hasn't. They want to revenge us for the FA Cup for sure. For sure. I'm sure the FA Cup is fresh on their mind. They want to do us in. But I don't have any faith in them, man. Listen, I'm saying that now, and they could 7-1 us like they did PSV just now. So I don't think they're almighty like I think like Liverpool will do us. I think Liverpool would do us in right now. Like if we had to play Liverpool on Sunday, it'd be an absolute.
I'm not sure I'd go to the bar for that one.
It'd be a problem if we had to. I'm gonna still go, but it's gonna be an absolute problem. So, but Arsenal don't strike that same fear in my heart. Now clip this up, Arsenal fans. You might see it later. Clip it up. And remind me with the DM me, message me, text me, whatever. But you don't put that much fear in my heart as a team that's the second best team in the Premiership. I just don't feel it.
Oh yeah, I agree. I don't know. I'm optimistic for Sunday. I think them missing strikers, and I think our backlines played pretty decently in the last 2 games. It looks like Ugarte's probably back on Sunday. From what Amram said, it was just a niggle, and because we've had so many injuries, he just wanted to take care of it for the match. He'll also be back next week, but at least next week for Sociedad, which I think is a huge boost. I didn't think Casemiro played a bad game today, but I didn't think he played
No.
a good game either.
Yeah, he was a passenger today.
Yeah.
I don't want to take. I don't think anybody was just terrible today, right? Nobody was terrible. I think we had a lot of good um, passages of play where we looked like sharp and we went and got around the press. When the press was high, as soon as we got the ball, we were able to get around it, passing in our diamonds and getting a man free and progressing the ball forward. There's a lot of chances in that game for us, but once we figure out the chance, we get chances. We get them. We create chances. Like there was a time where that was an issue. Like, yo, we're not creating chances as much as we used to. Now we're creating them. We're just not putting them away. And the more we don't put them away, just like you've said before, is the more people are going to punish us on the back end.
Yeah.
And you leave teams with time to get back in the game. So I don't know, man. I want to look ahead to Arsenal.
Yeah, it happened today. You know, we let them get back into the game. I think we dominated them for 60 minutes, and you know, and then they got back into the game. I won't say dominated. You know, we were better than 60 minutes, but then you know the penalty happens, and then they got back into the game, and that's that they had the better chances to score after that.
Yeah.
So you know we could have easily walked away with a loss today. Couple of good saves from Onana. I will give him credit today. Couple of good saves from him today. Ones that he should be making, but in light of what's been going on recently, good game for Onana. There was only one that worried me where he shot the goalie. They shot it across goal and it came off his hands. Luckily, he got a decent hand to it, so that it put it out wide so the player could get to it. But another rebound from me. Anything else you want to add? I know we were going to say we'd keep a short one tonight. The game Sunday.
Yeah, no big news. Nothing really going on now. Mr. Green, where are you? You're supposed to come on today. They couldn't get you on. I don't know where you're at. You're not in the chat either. Hopefully everything's okay. But yeah, nothing really to report. I feel like, hey, we're still in this thing. You know, we're still in this thing, and with Spurs lost today.
Spurs lost. Galatasaray got beat by Rangers 3-1 last time I was.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what I need. I need Spurs to go out. I need Spurs to go out. I need Galatasaray to go out.
Yep.
And I need us to handle our business at Old Trafford. I feel like if we can win this game, it just sweetens the deal. We might be able to win. I think we could win Europa League. And this might be crazy, but it's a cup competition, just like the FA Cup. We can win this. I honestly feel like winning the FA Cup would have been harder this year than the Europa with the level of competition that's still in the FA Cup. City's still in it. Liverpool's out.
I think they top of the group. They're a pretty solid team. They won 3-0 today. 3-1, 3-0, 3-1. I can't remember the final score, but
against who?
I'm not sure, but they finished top of their group though.
That ain't saying much.
Yeah.
Because we are undefeated in Europe.
Yeah,
and we're ass.
Yeah, well, it was still the only. They won 3-1 against the team we beat, FCSB.
Yeah, see, like that. There we go, right there. Like this. I don't fear Leon. I don't fear Galatasaray. Gives me a little bit of heartache. Tottenham gives me some heartache. They beat us 3 times already this year. I think I'm not looking past Real Sociedad, but if we can handle our business against them. I didn't think we could lose to them. I didn't think I predicted 2-0 against them. We almost got that. Aside from, this damn penalty and Garnacho not passing the ball in. 2-0 is easy to have. I think the level of competition right now in Europe is asking for us to be there because we're right there in that. We're right there in it. We're just as bad as everybody else.
Oh,
it's very equal there.
Yeah. Frank got so we'll probably have him. We can see if we can have him on Monday.
Yeah.
We'll message him Monday for the Arsenal.
That's the Casey, man. Casey should have landed in Manchester by now. I don't know when he left. Do you remember when he left?
He said he was leaving Thursday night, so he probably won't get there till tomorrow morning.
He hasn't left yet. Then
yeah.
I never leave in the I never leave to go to England in the nighttime.
I do
I
every
always
time.
leave, like, early morning, like 7 or
Yeah.
6 in the morning so I can get there for, like, the afternoon.
Yeah, I always leave at nighttime because the direct flight from Pittsburgh to England leaves at 9 o'clock at night. Yeah, pretty much the only one that's direct, and I hate changing over. I hate it. So I'd rather take the night flight. That's what we're doing in August. We're flying on a Thursday, take the night, and Monday morning, Friday morning. And it also allows me to sleep on the plane a little bit better with it being nighttime. So when I wake up, I'm a little more refreshed to drive. So
We have a straight direct flight from Atlanta to England that's pretty good, and it goes a couple times. Delta's here, so
yeah.
everything goes out of here, to be honest. I used to have to go to Philly to then
Mhm.
go to the UK, and that was
Yeah,
annoying.
we used to do it too. It used to go to Pittsburgh to Philly, but now the British Airways are in Pittsburgh because they're building a new hub. Um, they're building a bigger airport, so British Airways are back.
I don't think I've ever
One
flown.
thing, I did speak to 1958 again. We'll try and get something set up for that. I'm going to try and do an interview rather than a live stream. I think it will be better.
Yeah, I
Um,
think, and then we could take our time and edit it.
yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
And then also, um, they're going to be sending over um s- over the specs for the same banner that they're going to be using on Friday, so we can use it in Atlanta.
nice,
That big
nice, nice.
long one.
Yeah,
So we're going to be able to use that in Atlanta, so we can hold it.
yeah. I'm looking into for that protest. I'm looking into okay. So the way that that they're gonna play at the
Yeah,
Benz is huge, and like there is a little section where there's like we want to be in the best place so people could see the banner, right?
yeah,
There's a little section where there's a lot of police, so we have to be okay with being across from that,
yeah.
and we have to see if that's legal for us to do on game day,
Well,
being with
yeah. What I was
traffic
more
and all that
thinking of
stuff.
just doing is doing what they're doing on Sunday and like walking from the tailgate to the stadium as a big collective, and then once we get to the stadium, either go into the game, whatever you want to do. I'm not saying you, but the general public is, yeah, just do that walk march. Once you get to the stadium, protest there for about 5 minutes, go their separate ways or whatever they want to. That's what they're doing Sunday.
Yeah, it's just that there's really no place for you to do that at in Atlanta because everything's so like there's so much traffic on that day. There's so much shit going on that like I need to see where's a good place for us to do that
Yeah.
that's gonna get us the most eyes on the day.
No, yeah,
So,
yeah. We'll leave
and I
that.
know that game's gonna be packed because we got a lot of people that's gonna like that game is gonna it's gonna be easily 100,000 people there. I'm sure.
Yeah,
Sure, I'm like 100% sure it's gonna be sold out.
yeah. So it depends on what we're gonna who we're
I
gonna
don't know
play.
if I'm going. I still don't know if I'm gonna go in.
Yeah, that like I said, that's up to you, man. I'm not 100% sure if I'm gonna go in. But I'm definitely gonna be coming down to protest, doing some
I'm
videos for the show.
surprised. I'm really surprised because uh, they don't do anything. Like the pitch is bad. The pitch is
Yeah,
very bad. Somebody's gonna get hurt.
yeah, yeah. It's just another AstroTurf kind of pitch.
Yeah.
Players, I don't understand why they players play on that. I know for the World Cup that they're making them use real grass. I know that America. So I'm not sure how that's gonna work out, but yeah. We'll keep working on that. We'll keep you guys up to date as
Yeah.
things start progressing.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that the preseason is going to be earlier this year, more late June, early July, considering last year we had the Euros. I'm assuming the preseason is going to be a bit earlier over here this time. Maybe I
It'll
won't
be fun.
die in Atlanta with the
Oh no,
heat.
you're gonna die. It's gonna be very hot. It's gonna be at least 99 degrees, 100% humidity. It's gonna be hot,
Yeah,
but there's gonna be good food. There's gonna be great. We're gonna be at the pub. We're probably gonna do something at our pub. It's gonna be
yeah, that'll
great.
be
We're
cool.
gonna have an event. So, and the pub's not far from where the game is, so we can just hop on the train and get there.
Yeah, absolutely. Perfect. Well, that's another episode of the Stateside Reds. We'll be back on Monday. We'll also
Sure.
be back on Tuesday for those casual Reds.
Score
Um,
prediction. Score prediction.
score prediction. I'm gonna go I'm gonna go 2-2. I'm gonna go with a draw.
Okay. 1-0. This is at the Emirates. It's not at Emirates.
It's Old Trafford.
Oh yeah, 1-0. 1-0. 1-0. We were out of there. They'll lay grass out in the summer in the Benzo Club World Cup games along with the EPL Summer Series. Whatever. I doubt it.
There might be an agreement with the Club World Cup.
Yeah.
Hopefully they have grass. So
they're paying for it. So yeah, sure.
Ronaldo's going 1-0 United. But yeah, everyone, thank you again for tuning in. We'll see you on Monday. Everyone else, peace out.
Peace.